So, good morning. I am Kathleen Bueno, your teacher for today. So, our topic for today is all about Region 11 or the Davao region. So, the Davao region is the 11th region of the Philippines that is situated at the southern-eastern part of Mindanao. So, the Davao region or the Region 11, it comprises of 5 provinces. First one is the Compostela Valley, Davao del Norte, Davao del Sur, Davao Oriental, and Davao Occidental, and a highly urbanized city, the Davao City. So the component cities of Davao region is the Digos City, Mati City, Panabo City, Samal City, and the Tagum City. Region or Region 11 is the Hispanized pronunciation of Daba Daba, that Bagobo word for fire. Cebuano translation is Kalayo. Historians believe that the name of Davao is a mixture of 3 names of the 3 earliest tribes of region for Davao River. First one is the Manobos, second one is the Bagobos, and the third one is the Gingangan. So the Davao region have 11 tribes. The first one is Klata-Giangan. The Bagobo Klata are native inhabitants of Davao. They are known as one of the most extravagantly dressed tribes back then. At that point, they were feared warriors. Klatas involves a tiny domain extending from Katalunan to Kalinan inside Davao City. Their customary populous places included Blau, Tagakpan, Dulian, Sirib, Gunalong, and Tamugan. They are known as the forest dwellers. So the second one is Ovo Manovu. The Ovo Manovus are known for their perplexing, projecting, fine weaponry, and gems for their purposes. These things have spirits, as spirits likewise have energized objects. Obo oral custom recounts Apo Sandawa's excursion from the north to Davao. Apo Sandawa's place of passage in Davao was at Ulas. From Ulas, Apo Sandawa and concealed family moved north towards the Talomo Mountains. In any event, arriving at Mount Sinaka, Apo Sandawa's excursion finished in Mount Apo, where he was covered, and Apo Sandawa is viewed as the ancestor of the Ovus. So, Apo Sandawa is the first one, or siya yung sinaunang naging Ovus or tribe, unang Ovus tribe. The third one is the Matigsalug tribe or stream people. They are viewed as the most native occupants of Mindanao, mainly passing the Agusan Waterway Valley in Compostela from Malalag to Sarangani, and among Quabao and Cape San Agustin. In Davao City, they are the most part situated in the hinterlands of Marilog, Marahan, or Pagibato. Their homes were close to the streams, regularly on the forks or trees. Of the Malay Plunge, the Manobos are slightly assembled. However, athletics is from the words matig or spot of beginning and salug or the waterway. They are viewed as one of Davao's vivid clans. The fourth one is the Atas or tenants in high countries. They are influential individuals who give off an expression of being a combination of Negritos and Malays. As tenants of the headwaters of Davao, Tuganay, and Libuganon rivers, the Atas rely principally upon hunting as their business. The Atas are additionally known for being touchy and no-shoes, however, can be effectively placated whenever they taken care of with the most extreme strategy. The fifth one is Kagan. The Kagan clan's name was derived from the word Kaog, which means whisper. The Kagan public is known as agriculturists, developing rice, corn, abaca, and coconut for crush crops. The people who are living close to the coast work fishing. They are taga-Kaulo who have changed over the Islam either through intermarriage or contact with the Magindanaos. The next one is the Iranon. They are viewed as the fiercest privateers in the Malay world, taking on a commonplace oceanic way of life of oceans intruders and distance brokers. They went after traders, transportation, and beachfront settlements in the Philippines. The waterways of Malacca and the island pass Sulawesi. Nowadays, they are known as angler and significant distance dealer. Next one is Tagabawa. Tagabawa signifies individuals from the south, and they have been involved in the areas of Marilog, Baguio, Kalinan, Tugbok, and Toril in Davao City. Locals have recognized themselves as such as Bagobo. This clan is supposed to be the most insightful of all locals in the Philippines. The Tagabawas involved the areas of Marilog, Baguio, Kalinan, Tugbok, and Toril. Next one is the Magindanaon. They are known as individuals of the floodplain in Mindanao, starting from the province of Maguindanao. Outside the province, they are spread around the three locals of Davao City and other close by areas like Davao del Sur, Davao del Norte, and Davao Oriental. Living from the most part along the mouths of streams, they blocked the Spanish colonizers' endeavors at bringing different clans of Davao inside the Christian overlay. Next is the Tausug. The Tausugs overwhelmed the island of Sulu. They are known as the people of the current and are known for their fortitude and dauntlessness. Devotion is a significant attribute among the Tausugs. They practice the custom of blood minimal to imply the profundity of their dedication to each another. They are wild and perilous, yet the second one becomes friend with one of them, the bond will persevere. The next one is Sama. The Sama people are depicted as harmony, adoring, and firm individuals, accordingly putting such a lot of significant worth on fellowship. Their ancestors are said to have exceptional abilities, having the extraordinary capacity to welcome spirits called jinn to get things done for them. Greater part of the Sama public are generally living in Bunawan and other seaside regions in Davao City. So, yung mga Sama tribe is parang may sinasanto sila ganon. They called it jinn. Kumbaga, if may gusto silang ipagawa or gusto nilang mangyari, siya yung tinatawag nila para mangyari yung gusto nilang mangyari. Next one is Maranao. The Maranaos are said to have the best customary garments out of all Filipino ethnic gatherings. They are likewise called people of the lake and are known to be fearless. All things considered, Maranaos are accepted to have offered penances with regards to their countries and to honor Islam, their religion. Among those, the clan invests wholeheartedly in the rich writing called Darangen, as well as their complex wood and metal specialties communicated in their Torogan, a unique housework for a Maranao lady and okir, a creative plan. So, ang tawag sa mga ang tawag sa panunulat nila ganon or tawag sa pagsusulat nila is darangen, and gumagawa din sila ng unique house para sa mga Maranao lady and okir. For the brief history of Davao region or the Region 11, from January 1546, Francis Xavier, a Jesuit priest, preached the Catholic gospel to the region for a year and a half. It is confirmed by some of the writers of 17th century and in the Bull of Canonization issued in 1623. It is also said that he is the one who have preached the gospel in Mindanao. So, si Francis Xavier daw, siya yung pare na nangunguna ng Catholic Gospel on that region. Next one is, by the time of Americans defeat the Spaniards, they subsequently developed the region. During this period, farm ownership grew and Japanese migrations began in Davao. As two entrepreneurs, Kiyosaburo Ota and Yoshizo Furukawa were finding better agricultural lands in the area. So this is Kiyosaburo Ota and Yoshizo Furukawa. In 1903 to 1914, the Davao region was a district of the former Moro province, which was replaced by an American colonial agency called Department of Sulu and Mindanao. In 1942, during the Japanese occupation in the country, Davao region was one of the first subjected by the invaders. The Japanese immigrants in Davao enacted as the fifth column, welcoming the Japanese during World War II. So, yung Davao region pala is, yun yung unang tinutukan or unang pinasok ng mga invaders. American forces. Before the Philippine independence in 1946, Davao was only a single province, and in May 1967, it was separated into three provinces, namely Davao del Norte, Davao del Sur, and Davao Oriental, which Davao City as the regional center. In 1990, the port of Davao was opened and became the first Philippine international port to be established. In September 2001, Executive Order Number 36 was enacted for the formation of the present Region 11, and the provinces of South Cotabato and Sarangani were to Region 12. So, for the economy of Davao region, the region's economy is predominantly agri-based, and it is now developing into agro-industrial business, trade, and tourism. It was produced products like papayas, mangoes, bananas, pineapples, fresh asparagus, flowers, and fish products are exported internationally. Private and foreign investor and business are putting up huge business centers, fueling the region's economic growth. So, the only Philippine Eagle Foundation can be found in Davao region. They protect and study our nearly extinct animal. So, the king of Philippine fruits, which is durian, can be found in Davao region. This stinky but flavorful fruit and abundant in the area and can bought with a very cheap amount.
Good morning, I am Kathleen Arquitola and I am the next reporter. So, I will going to discuss the provinces of Davao region. We will tackle first about the Davao del Norte. So, Davao del Norte is known as the banana capital of the Philippines. The capital city of Davao del Norte is Tagum City. The population of Davao del Norte when 2015 is 1,016,332 and the land area is 3,426.97 square kilometer. So the component cities of Davao del Norte is Panabo, Tagum, and Samal. So the municipalities under Davao del Norte is 8 municipalities. So, the history of Davao del Norte, wherein the Republic Act 6430 on June 17, 1972, the Davao del Norte was changed to Davao, and the Republic Act 8470 on January 31, 1998, signed by President Fidel V. Ramos, which split the province into two, creating the Compostela Valley, and Davao was renamed again as Davao del Norte. And the economy of Davao del Norte economy is primary agricultural but also engage in mining, forestry, and commercial fishing. And major crops of Davao del Norte is rice, banana, coconut, abaca, rami, coffee, variety of fruits and root crops. And the province is the country's major producer of banana and also Mindanao's leading producer of rice. And the other products of Davao del Norte, which is the fish products, which is milkfish, tilapia, shrimp, and crabs, and freshwater catfish and tilapia. And mining resources, which is silica, silver, copper, and gold. Wherein other economy of Davao del Norte is tourism and commerce. So, Davao del Norte is a primary and agricultural province. No wonder it is hailed as the banana capital of the Philippines, with the many plantations run by the multinational and local products. However, the province also boasts of its vast array of tourist attractions to all beach, and those who love adventure explore the great diving sites and find beaches of Island Garden in city of Samal. And now, let's proceed to the festivals of Davao del Norte. So, the first festival is the Banana Festival. The festival features street dancing and an agricultural trade fair to highlight Davao del Norte as a banana city or country. Since banana is the largest economic contributor for the province, and the festival pays tribute to its abundance in the area. So, next is the Kahayag Festival. Kahayag Festival is a Bisaya or Cebuano term for illuminate and bright lights, or you can see on the picture or the example that I attach in the PPT, or is deeply or simply bright. It depends on how it is being used as Filipino dialects. The meaning, the Kahayag Festival was held every December as preparation for Christmas holiday. So next is the Panagtagbo Festival. It is a custom that the child Jesus or Senior Santo Niño is moved to the Saint Joseph Shrine from the Basilica before having fluvial procession a day before the feast. So next is the Pangapog Festival. It is situated in Samal City, Davao del Norte, held every year, wherein the month of August 1 to 7. It is a Thanksgiving celebration for an abundant trip featuring the way of life of the Samal, the indigenous of Samal. So, where to go at Davao del Norte? So, here are the places that you should visit in Davao del Norte. So, here are the first place that you should visit, which is the world's largest rosary. This is 85.5-meter rosary, was designed by the great local artist Kublai Milan, and it is situated at the Christ the King Cathedral. Its linked beads are made of ironwood or magcono, which can only found in Surigao del Sur and Davao Oriental Mountains. So next place that you should visit is the Tagum Night Market. It is open at exactly 6 p.m. every day. More than a kilometer long of this city's street turns into burning dining hall, sweet-smelling smoke from hundreds of grills set up in tents. It is affordable budget for all. So next is the Hagimit Falls. Hagimit Falls is a cascade and a fun type of waterfall. The water falls from the first cascade and flows to the next cascade that results to a continuous flow of water and creates different pools around the resort. So next is the Tagbaobo Falls. Tagbaobo Falls, also known as Manggugawang Falls, it is a good spot to include in your vacation list, whereas Tagbaobo Falls is an adventure as well. Some can ride horses or horses to eat, but you can also go on while walking, or you just walk to go there. So next is the Kaputian Beach. Kaputian Beach is a beautiful white sand beach not far from the Pearl Farm. There are clean beaches, crystal clear waters, swaying coconut trees, and colorful crab boats. And the local residents of Kaputian Beach are very hospitable. Next is the Vanishing Island. Vanishing Island is just a small strip of white sand located just a minute away from the coast of Tambubabak in Samal. The island is visible only during low tides and can be noticed easily from the distance at the sight of houses floating above the ocean. Next is the Montfort Bat Cave. It is a wildlife refuge in Samal. It has been the home of the large colony of 2.3 million rosette fruit bats since recorded history. Now, let's proceed to the next destination, which is Davao del Sur. Davao del Sur most likely known as the competitive province of the country since 2015 National Competitiveness Council. So the capital city of Davao del Sur is Liga City, and the population of Davao del Sur at 2015 is 662,588, and the land area of Davao del Sur is 2,163.98 square kilometer, and the component cities is Davao City. Digos City, and there are 9 municipalities under Davao del Sur. So the history of Davao del Sur is wherein October 28, 2013, a plebiscite was held to create a new province, Davao Occidental, formed out of the southern part of Davao del Sur, and by the virtue of Republic Act 10360 on July 23, 2013, the Davao Occidental was ratified out of Davao del Sur. And the economy of Davao del Sur is primarily an agricultural province, and the crops is bananas, cacao, rami, coffee, fruits, and vegetable, and popularly known as coconut country since coconut is the major commercial crop of Davao del Sur, and its rice corn production is more than sufficient for its population. And Davao del Sur is classified as a first-class province. The province is a major producer of rice, corn, coconut, sugarcane, cacao, mango, and banana. Fishery production in the province is sourced from captured fish and aquaculture. So let's proceed to the festivals of Davao del Sur. First is the Dorongan Festival. Dorongan Festival is the Thanksgiving celebration honoring the child Jesus, wherein known to the Filipino as Santo Niño. And next is the Kadayawan Festival. Kadayawan Festival is celebrates life and Thanksgiving for nature beauty, the wealth of culture, and the bounties of harvest and scenery of living. The festival's name is taken from the Mandayo word Mandayaw, and means valuable and good and beautiful. And the last festival is the Padigosan Festival. It is held every July 19 as a special non-working holiday. In the city of Digos, Davao del Sur is in commemoration of it. It is known to be their founding anniversary. So where to go at Davao del Sur? So the first place that you should visit in Davao del Sur is the Philippine Eagle Center. Philippine Eagle Center is home to 36 eagles, 18 of which are captive breed, and it is also houses to 10 other species of birds and 4 species of mammals and 2 species of reptiles. Next is the Eden Nature Park. Eden Nature Park is one of main attractions in Toril. It is the famous Eden Nature Park and Resort, a sprawling 80-hectare mountain resort that showcases the region's stunning flora and fauna. So, Japanese Tunnel is the next. Japanese Tunnel, it is one of the remnants of the Japanese occupation during the Second World War. Japanese soldiers used it as a place to hide in from the Americans and to hold their captives. So next is the Mount Apo. Mount Apo is an active volcano, also known as Apo Sandawa. It is a large sulfuric dormant and stratovolcano on the island of Mindanao. So next is the Museo Davaoeño. It was established to provide a venue where the diverse cultural heritage of Davao City can be preserved, celebrated, and shared with both locals and visitors. Now, let's proceed to the next destination, which is the Davao Oriental. So, Davao Oriental is known as the coconut capital of the Philippines, wherein the capital city of Davao Oriental is Mati, and population of Davao Oriental when 2015 is 558,958, and the land area of Davao Oriental is 5,678.64 square kilometer, and the component cities is Damati, and there are 10 municipalities under Davao Oriental. The history of Davao Oriental is 1942. Davao Oriental was occupied by the Japanese Imperial Forces. The Battle of Davao took place free the area from the invaders. And when July 1, 1967, the Republic Act number 4867, the province of Davao was divided into 3 independent provinces, which include the Davao Oriental. The economy of the Davao Oriental is the province is the top producer of coconut and copra in the country. It is also a major producer of abaca and export crude oil and copra pellets. And Davao Oriental, the province of Davao Oriental was one of the 3 provinces created through the division of Davao Province by virtue of Republic Act 4867 dated May 8, 1967. As I said a while ago, the Davao Oriental was one of the 3 provinces created through the division of Davao Province. It is the biggest province in Davao region. It is located in the southern part of Davao. So let's proceed to the festivals of Davao Oriental, wherein the first is the Bauldayawan Festival. Bauldayawan Festival is celebrated or celebrates a good harvest. The term Bauldayawan is derived from the word Baul is from Mandayo word for farm, and Da is from dagat or and dayawan means to keep. Next festival is the Banayan Festival. Banayan Festival is a cultural and harvest festival in the municipality of Banay-Banay, Davao Oriental every October 28. And lastly, which is the Sambuokan Festival. Sambuokan Festival is a founding anniversary celebration in the city of Mati. Held every 29 of October, it is also a celebration of the ethnic customs and traditions of indigenous people who is resident of that said city. So where to go to Davao Oriental? So here are the places you should visit in Davao Oriental. First that you should visit is the Aliwagwag Falls. Aliwagwag Falls is known for its staircase-like boulders and it is considered to be the highest waterfalls in the Philippines. And the next is the Cape of San Agustin. Cape of San Agustin is an ecological biodiversity housing different species of land and marine animals, including corals. So next is the Mount Hamugitan Bonsai Forest. It is only protected forest noted for having the largest and most unique bonsai forest with century-old trees thriving in a highly basic ultramafic soil. So next is the Dahika Beach. Dahika Beach is a white sand rendered even more beautiful by lush, um, lush palm trees. Next is the Lake Carolina, named as Hidden Treasure of Mindanao. It is or it has a for um, crystal clear, fresh and salt water that reminds people of the Labok River is in Bohol. It is surrounded by tall grasses and trees. And next is the Waniban Island. Waniban Island is covered with a lush landscape of greenery that sits on powdery white sand beach on its shoreline amidst the crystal clear water. And lastly is the or Subangan Museum. Is an interactive or state-of-life art museum that highlights hundred or hundred relies interactive visual photos, documents, videos, and textile. It is named it its name derived from the Visayan words Subang means east. Now, let's proceed to the next destination, which is Davao Occidental. So, Davao Occidental is the 81st and the newest province of the Philippines, and the capital is Malita. And the population were in 2015 is 316,342, and the land area of Davao Occidental is 2,163.45 square kilometer, and the component city is 0, and there are 5 municipalities under Davao Occidental. The history of Davao Occidental. Davao Occidental was created through the Republic Act 10360 enacted on July 23, 2013, signed by the President Benigno Aquino III, and the motive of creating the province was to boost the economic condition and social progress of the municipalities because this province was far off acquiring basic needs and as well to access government office. So, Davao Occidental has vast agricultural lands through mountainous but could grow almost all kinds of crops, and it has rich fisheries and marine resources aside from its lengthy coastlines where beautiful beaches can be found. It is basically blessed by the nature that yield sufficient food for its people. And the main industries in Davao Occidental are aquaculture and agriculture. The economic produce in the province include fish, bananas, and coconut. So let's proceed to the festivals of Davao Occidental. First is the Gaginaway Festival. Gaginaway Festival is a celebration of unity and bountiful blessings celebrated by Malitaños every full moon of November, based on the traditional custom and belief that full moon is at its brightest during this period of November and that the Lumads love to have a festival of merrymaking. So next is the Kapiaan Festival. Kapiaan Festival, this festival held every February 18 to 20, establishing anniversary of the production of region. It is additionally a Thanksgiving festival for the great year and abundant gather of the region's items use pineapple and rice and corn. So where to go at Davao Occidental? So here are the places that you should visit at Davao Occidental. So here are the places that you should visit. First is the Balut Island, also known as the Malulong, is potentially active volcanic island south of the tip of Davao Occidental Province in Mindanao Region, southern Philippines. And the Bolay Cave, it is a quiet inlet in Sarangani with calm beach backed by dense forests of coconut trees that protects the area known from strong winds. And next is the Chukmaklang. Chukmaklang is the shares with the same shoreline with Bolay Cave. It is a private resort owned by the municipality mayor and decorated with open huts serving as a shade. And next is the Chuk Nansul. Is an underwater paradise, a heaven for snorkelers and who wish to see the thriving and colorful colony of coral there. Corals in there. And next is the Sabang Hot Spring. Sabang Hot Spring, this is located in Sitio Sabang Barangay, Lipot, Sarangani. This is with vibrant turquoise pool and tourists travel to witness firsthand the boiling hot spring where the temperature can reach as hot as 80 degrees Celsius. And let's proceed to our last destination, which is Compostela Valley. Compostela Valley is the fourth newest province of the Philippines. The name Compostela Valley refers to the great fertile plain in the heartland of the province, and the capital city of Compostela Valley is Nabunturan, and the population in 2015 is 736,107, and the land area of Compostela Valley is 4,479.77 square kilometer, and the component city is 0, and there are 11 municipalities under Compostela Valley. The history of Compostela Valley is Compostela Valley was carved out of the Davao del Norte by the virtue of Republic Act number 8470 signed by the President Fidel V. Ramos on January 30, 1998. And assignment bill officially remaining Compostela Valley to Davao de Oro is already a second reading. Its purpose is to clear up confusion with the geographic location with the provinces or province name sometimes associated Cagayan Valley and town of Compostela in Cebu. And the economy of Compostela Valley it is also the home of the biggest ring in the Philippines, wherein it is called solidary ring. And the main sources of livelihood are the main sources of Compostela Valley is livelihood are agricultural products such as rice, coconut, cacao, coffee, papaya, mango, pineapple, durian, and banana. So, Compostela Valley is blessed with nature's magnificent works of art. It it is with natural attractions like beaches, waterfalls, mountain range, lakes, caves, hot and cold spring, and can be found in the province. So let's proceed to the festivals of Compostela Valley, wherein the first is the Buganihan Festival. So Buganihan Festival, this is the colorful, spirited, and bountiful celebration every 1st of August intertwined with the araw ng Compostela. Locals portray its culture, heritage, and practices in honor of the nature or native indigenous people, then so-called Mandayas. And the next festival is the Bulawan Festival. Bulawan Festival is an annual event that celebrates the province in rich cultural heritage, the bountiful harvest of its farmers and the golden-hearted people, and the festival's name is derived from the local word for gold, which is significant resources in the area or in that said province. So the next festival is the Dinawag Festival. Dinawag Festival is a portmanteau of the words Diwa or spirit and Masanag, which means bright, held every December 14, and the festival is one of the much anticipated events every Christmas season in Compostela Valley that showcase different components or concepts every year. And the Kariyawan Festival is celebrated together with the araw ng Moncayo every September 4, and this takbo sa Kariyawan is the first fun run event in Moncayo, and there are expected 2,000 people who runs from the barangays, academy, and organizations to participate. So next is the Piagsawitan Festival. Piagsawitan Festival is a Thanksgiving celebration for bountiful harvest and another rich cultural heritage of the Mansaka tribe. It is a beautiful scenery of hills and mountains overlooking views and stunning landscape. And next is the Salupongan Festival, also known as sharing among people. Salupongan is an occasion where ethnic groups and these are gathered together to thank God for the fruitful harvest. And next is the Simbalay Festival. This is a yearly festival of the municipality of Nabunturan, instituted from the Mansaka word signifying harmony, sharing, and thanksgiving for the plentiful collect. And next is the Kaimunan Festival. It is an annual festival aims to promote the rich and abundant culture and tradition of our city indigenous people communities, and as well as protect their right to as a fellow citizens of Tagum. Kaimunan Festival celebrated harmony and unity among the people around Tagum City. So, where to go in Compostela Valley? So, here are the places that you should visit in Compostela Valley. So, here are the places that you should visit. First is the Awao Falls, is one of the Mankayo's priceless jewels. This is surrounded by the flourishing forest, home to diverse wildlife. This is grandiose of waterfall prides itself with three cascading foliage tape um, boundaries um, with plants and grasses. And next is the Tagbibinta Falls. Tagbibinta Falls, this is one of the many great and majestic waterfalls located in Barangay Coranobe, Coranobe, Maragusan, Compostela Valley. This is an ideal place to capture the beauty of nature, and it is also a good destination to unwind and to have a peace of mind. And next is the Combilan Cave. Combilan Cave, this cave is a tunnel-like features and have a wide chambers laden with beautiful formations. The presence of the stalactites and stalagmites and other formations in one chambers of the cave respond to the educational purpose. The cave serves as a layer to fruit bats locally known as Cabiao. And next is the San Vicente Cave. San Vicente Cave, this is located to Barangay San Vicente, Nabunturan, Combal, and it is consists of 4 caves open to tourists. And lastly is the Mainit Sulfuric Hot Spring. The Mainit Sulfuric Hot Spring, this is a natural hot spring located in the mountainous and geothermally active interior of the town of Maco in the province of Compostela Valley.